Okay, today we discuss how synchronicities and quantum physics prove that Jesus Christ is the right one, the way to go, the proof, that we won, that human beings lived for eternity, he's the proof, What do I mean by the proof? I'll show you now. Well, not show you, I'll tell you now. Now, in terms of quantum physics, you can do your research. I keep these talks very heuristic when it comes to science. Because if we were to write down the equations or to concentrate on the equations, I'll lose most of you. And obviously, so I keep it very philosophical or heuristic. So there is a quantum theory that amounts to basically saying that if a monkey, you must have heard of this, do your Google research. If a monkey started typing randomly, and it typed for eternity until time equals infinity. Eternity is when time equals infinity. Religious people say eternity, scientists say infinity. This is the same thing. But there are some religious orders out there that will say, well, you can exist beyond infinity, but you cannot exist beyond infinity. Think about infinity like this, and I'll also solve that paradox with infinity. If you have a bottle of water, you get this bottle and you fill it up to the top. Let's say you divide it into infinitesimally small lines, and you draw these lines across the bottle. So right at the bottom is infinity, at the top of the bottle is infinity. So once you get to the top of the bottle, you can't add in any more water in the bottle. So when you say what's infinity plus 1, infinity plus 1 is still infinity, and infinity minus 1 is infinity minus 1. Those are the solutions. So that paradox, as in infinity plus 1 is what happens at infinity when you add 1. It's just infinity, because like if you fill up a bottle of water to the rim, to the top, if you add more water, the water will fall out. But in terms of that controlled environment where infinity exists in, that domain, which is the bottle, when you add more to infinity, you still have infinite amount of water in the bottle. The rest of it will flow off to whatever. But in terms of how the domain, what the domain is concerned with, infinity plus 1 is infinity. You can't add any more. You've reached the limit. If you can't add any more, then infinity plus 1 is not something that really becomes obsolete. You can't calculate that, because it's not something that makes sense. So back to the talk, how synchronicities and quantum physics prove that Jesus Christ is the right path. Back to the example. If a monkey started typing randomly from now until time equals infinity, for eternity, it will there will be a section, there will be a period where it's typed the complete works of William Shakespeare in the order he wrote them in, word for word, letter for letter, with 100% accuracy. This is quantum physics and quantum law. I can't remember what the law is called, and I don't want to go into the mathematics, but I do remember hearing that one of the assumptions can be explained using that analogy. I don't want to go too much into quantum physics, because it's not about quantum physics. It's about proving that Jesus is the right path. I'm not a Christian, but Jesus is a prophet that I use. So Jesus can't, Christians cannot tell me not to talk about Jesus, because that's somebody whose wisdom and guidance I follow. There's a personal connection to Jesus. And the way I see Jesus is different from every Christian out there. Most Christians, I've never met a Christian who sees, I believe in the Immaculate Conception, but I don't believe in the Trinity. Just because you are immaculately conceived does not make you God. Yeah, but I can understand that Immaculate Conception is true. Yeah, and I gave you an example in one of my previous videos of how it could be possible. But for that to be possible, it's similar to saying that if a monkey typed randomly from now till infinity, it would have coincidentally, mind you, synchronistically, yeah, typed out, there will be a time equals 1 to time equals x, that period where it would have typed out the complete works of William Shakespeare in order, word for word, letter by letter. Yeah, so when you see a synchronicity, yeah, that makes sense, yeah, that can only make sense if the event you're viewing, yeah, repeats itself, yeah, until infinity. Yeah, okay, I don't know if I lost you there. So if a monkey types and it's always typing, it repeats the typing motion, yeah, until infinity, yeah, then at some point, maybe towards infinity, you see the works of William Shakespeare, or maybe at the beginning, it might do it at the beginning, because if it intends to do it for an infinite amount of time, yeah, if it intends to do it, yeah, then quantum physics says that that coincidence will happen somewhere along that line, somewhere along that time, yeah. It could happen at the beginning, it could happen at the middle, it could happen at the end. But the thing is, it could happen at the beginning. That's where Jesus Christ comes into it. It could happen at the beginning. It could happen anywhere. By knowing Jesus, if it happens that a monkey does type from now until infinity, and you don't disturb it, and all it does is type, if that could happen, yeah, and it did happen at the beginning that he typed out the William Shakespeare works of William Shakespeare, then you can say that there is a universe out there where that monkey typed for infinity. Yeah, there must be a universe out there somewhere. So if the synchronicity that brought us Jesus Christ happened, we know that there's a universe out there where we lived until we lived to see the end of time. We lived for eternity. So that's why Jesus is important. If you know that the synchronicities that happened when Jesus was created can only happen if human beings are alive from now till time equals infinity. Yeah, for that to be a possibility. Yeah. So if Jesus happened, yeah, then we know that we did live for eternity. Okay? I know you got the Mandela effect and everything like that, but if we ever wake up and Jesus never happened, yeah, we can't, then there's no way, maybe the reason would be that we never lived until eternity, until time equals infinity. But the fact that Jesus exists means that it could have happened at the beginning, could have happened at the middle, could have happened at the end, but it just happened when we saw it. Yeah, but for it to happen, we must live until time equals infinity. So for Jesus to exist, it means that we've got eternal life. You get it? Most of you Christians don't explain eternal life like that, do you? Yeah, that's why I had to step away from Christianity. Yeah, because I'll be seen as a heretic for the things I'm saying. Yeah, but I follow Jesus, but not the way they're doing it. Yeah, I got nothing against them. They got positive messages, but that's not how I see it. Not quite. Same end point, but not quite. Yeah. So for Jesus to exist, it means that we must have lived for eternity, and Jesus is the way to eternal life. Because for the synchronicities that created Jesus, a woman that's hermaphroditic, yeah, that has an egg with a Y chromosome in it, that spontaneously sparks to life and creates a man, for that to happen, we need to be reproducing until infinity, yeah, for that to be a possibility. If you look at quantum physics and the laws of quantum mechanics. So for that to have happened, we know that that's the proof that we have been reproducing until infinity. Time equals infinity. So Jesus is reminding us of how to get to time equals infinity, how to live forever as a species. Yeah, that's the salvation that I see in Jesus Christ. Yeah. And now, if the Mandela effect does erase the memory of Jesus Christ, it's a possibility. Don't panic. He will still be in our hearts, and I'm pretty sure that if they did erase that, we won't have any proof that we live for eternity. But if we did live for eternity, it will happen. It will happen somewhere along our timeline. Jesus Christ will happen. Whether you do use the Mandela effect to raise him from our memory, there will be a time when we say Jesus Christ. So those who saw Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago, you're lucky you know. But you passed on the message, so we know that happened. So we know that when we follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, we can live for eternity. That's it.